A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 24/7 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 24/7, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Welcome everybody, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And of course I've got Dr. Maha Mansour with us today, and we're going to be talking about MCAS, Maha. It's a big subject, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big subject, and I found many people concerned about MCAS, and they are suffer from multiple allergies in MCAS. And many will be interested. I hope this meeting will help.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I often wonder whether, because of course we are so often talking to people who have sought out alternative medicine and alternative ways of healing, whether we actually have a bigger section of the population who have a diagnosis or susceptibility associated with MCAS, that's mast cell activation syndrome. So just give me some idea of your experience, what you see with clients, and why you might, first of all, suspect mast cell activation syndrome and also how do they get the diagnosis of this in the first place? Tell me a little bit about that background.
Okay. First, you said about alternative medicine, and all MCAS patients tried the classical medicine, but the classical medicine unfortunately give them only antihistamine and steroid. These are the only options they have. So many of them start to search about alternative medicine. MCAS diagnosis is very difficult because in the lab, the histamine and other interleukins and other mediators rise only in the attack. So if you don't do the lab during the attack, it will be normal. On the contrary, we have something called mastocytosis, and this more easily diagnosed because the elevation will be all the time, so they can pick it. But in mast cell activation syndrome, it should be only in the activation or in the flare-up. And so the MCAS diagnosis is a bit tricky because we try to combine three things: the lab, which may be normal during the usual time, and the symptoms, which is widespread symptoms. It affects every organ: gastrointestinal, nervous, skin. Every organ will be affected. When we see the symptoms in multiple organs, we suspect MCAS. And the third thing, it's response to antihistamine and steroids and the medicine for allergy. This also means that there is a problem in histamine. So we combine the three things to diagnose the MCAS. It's not one test diagnosis or something like its diagnosis is tricky and difficult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we see a lot of people, don't we, who are so sensitive to their environment and to medicines and to foods and to certain allergens, I guess. So my question is is this a diagnosis that is increasing at the moment? Is it something that more people are suffering with, or is it just the fact that we are more aware of sensitivities?
It's both. I think it's both. We are more aware, like ADHD. It was not diagnosed in the past because we are not aware, and it is less. Now the same. It's we are because we are more aware of this, and the second thing, the presence of triggers. We have multiple triggers, and this increase frequency. So it's a bit both. And I have cases with allergy to everything. Everything they live on two types of foods. For example, potatoes and something else, and they have protein deficiency. They have deficiency in minerals, in vitamins, because they don't have full diet. So it's both more triggers and more awareness of diagnosis.
Okay. And I mean, obviously, what I love about homeopathy is that we learn how to interpret our symptoms. But when somebody is living this life where they're sensitive to triggers and they're sensitive to their environment and they're sensitive to their food, are the people that we see with MCAS, with this problem, are they more aware of their bodies than other people? Are they, obviously they're used to knowing, I can't do that, I can't go near that. I know that going shopping will lead to me being ill for 2 days because of the different smells and the different things that are going to affect them, the triggers you mentioned. So does having this problem lead to more self-learning about the body?
Yeah, this actually, and most of the cases already has plans in food, has plans in everything. They know, and they self-learn every day. But with homeopathy, we can control these allergies. And actually, I have cases where they don't eat wheat or bread because it causes flare up, and not flare up in gastric flare or diarrhea or something. No, it's a flare up mentally and emotionally and everything. They are miserable for 2 days after taking bread. And these cases with homeopathy improved, and they can eat bread now. So homeopathy make a good job in allergies and can control this allergy. But the advice in general for allergy, and even when I am a pediatrician, this was my advice: not stick to one food all the time.
No.
You should change, because even if you are not allergic to some, for example, if you are not allergic to strawberry, but you eat strawberry every day with large amounts, the body will react.
Okay.
So don't stick to one food, even if you are not sensitive to it.
So what we're actually saying is, by beginning to learn more about what homeopathy can do to help you with MCAS, we're actually going to teach the body to be more resilient, to be less stressed by the allergens, and to react in a different way, which actually leads to a different way of leading your life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because what I often hear are clients who come to me and say, well, no, I can't do lemon. I just can't do it. I just can't have it in the house. And I say, okay, but when we've given you some remedies, not for a lemon trigger, but just, homeopathy in general, when we've made you more resilient, your body will react differently to these things. And they are so surprised at that.
Yeah, and homeopathy can help MCAS in different ways. I mean, it will decrease the number of flare-ups, the frequency of flare-ups. If instead you flare up every week or it will make more gaps, and the intensity of the flare-ups. The flare-up will be milder, and also it deal with the triggers itself. If you have triggers, the triggers of MCAS is multiple. Many things cause trigger infections, Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr disease, COVID will trigger the MCAS. The vaccination may trigger the MCAS. The hormonal imbalance, especially in the period of premenopausal, it will trigger MCAS. There is multiple, the stress, of course, the stress will trigger MCAS, and the environmental toxins like mold will trigger the MCAS. So homeopathy can deal with these triggers very well, and with detox we have marvelous results. But it's according to what trigger you. So it's different from one person to the other. If you are triggered, you are not well since COVID, you are not well since Epstein-Barr. So we know the triggers and we can detox to it. Second thing, that detox is very hard to the body to detox, because the toxins wants to leave the body, and so it should be not in flare-ups. If in flares, it will flare more. And it should be mild according to the sensitivity of the person. If he is sensitive, it should be very mild and gradual. And it shouldn't be combined. I couldn't combine the Epstein-Barr with COVID, with mold. This also will be a burden on the body.
So too much for you to be healing in one go. We need to go slowly. We need to be very gentle, and you need to be aware that it's not a quick fix. It's a slow fix.
Yeah, right.
It's a deep fix, isn't it?
And the last thing is in acute flares. It will help in acute flares, of course.
Of course. Yes. And of course, when we're treating constitutionally and looking at the whole picture as well, then actually we are going to be less stressed and less anxious with the things that are going on around us every day anyway. So we're helping on multiple levels, really, aren't we? Going in there and helping the body just rebalance and act in a different way. For you as a doctor, this must be, finding homeopathy must have been so fantastic for you, because you didn't have this before when you were working just with mainstream medicine.
Yeah. Actually, I changed all my mind with homeopathy, and I'm very glad that I can treat cases without steroids.
Yeah.
This is the break point in my practice in homeopathy, because before everything, I think in medicine, allergy, eczema, asthma, everything is steroid.
Yeah.
Everything steroid, either inhaler, either tablets, or either IV, or either oral. So everything was steroid. And finally, I have many cases of asthma treated with homeopathy in acute attack. So it's marvelous. It's marvelous. We can do this without any steroid. So this very, very exciting for me, that the body can heal himself by just adjusting
what we do. And it's a good, obviously, point here for me to add that obviously as homeopaths, we will not take you off your medication. That is something that you will do with your doctor and your health provider. We're just here really to help you learn that there are other things that you can be exploring. And if you are really sensitive to anything, then you need to be looking at what you're reacting to, how you're reacting to it, and perhaps having a look at alternative ways to help the body holistically. That is looking at the whole body and the whole set of symptoms. So let's talk about some of
And
those
I
symptoms.
want to add about the medicine, the emergency, the emergency. If you have emergency, you
You
should go
must go.
to the ER. Homeopathy is not an emergency medicine.
That's a really good point. Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about some of the symptoms that we see when people come in with MCAS, and let's talk about why some of those remedies that we have might be useful in this stage. And you've talked a little bit about detox as well, so we'll explore that as well, and just to say what it is and why it might be helpful for people suffering.
Actually, at first, most of the symptoms related to, or what I saw in the cases, mostly it's related to two parts: the gastric, which is allergy to all types of foods, or nearly all types of foods, and the mental and the emotional. They have depression, they have anxiety, they have panic attacks, they have emotional things. So mostly it's one of these, but sometimes or in other cases associated with other symptoms. And so we start with the constitutional remedy, and sometimes it helps greatly at the start, but sometimes we find that there is obstacle to cure. This when we think about the detox, and the detox open the way. Sometimes we need something called methylation as support, and methylation is the problem in methylation, that you shouldn't have a methylation defect, because MCAS itself, it will cause methylation defect. So it's a vicious circle. Methylation cause MCAS and symptoms, and MCAS cause methylation defect. So it's a vicious circle. Sometimes we want to break this by give support, methylation support. And we have some remedies for the acute flare-ups, like histaminum, and I think every case with homeopath have histaminum in his hand.
Yeah, yeah. Can you just explain exactly what you mean by methylation?
Methylation, the histamine to be break down
Uh-huh. Okay.
to inactive metabolites, wants some enzymes and some elements to give methyl group for this to help the enzyme. If you have methylation defect, the histamine will accumulate and will not degrade to inactive metabolites. So it will cause more harm and more harm on the system.
Okay, I understand. So what you're saying is then that each time you have a flare and the histamine comes into your body, then your body isn't able to get rid of that. And so your body becomes more susceptible next time.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So what you're saying is some of the homeopathic remedies are rebalancing that histamine and actually helping your body react properly to the dispersal.
Yeah, that's right. It helps, but if there is obstacle to cure, I mean, if the homeopathic remedy or the constitutional remedy cannot help, we try to find what is the obstacle to remove, so the constitutional remedy can act. This the gap between them.
Okay, so the I can't even say it now, obstacle to cure would be something that is stopping the remedies working continuously. So the remedy might work for a little bit and then stop, and then work for a little bit and then stop. And so therefore, we know that we need to get rid of something else for the remedies to carry on working. So, and is this when you mentioned before with people that had never been well since COVID or never been well since a mold experience?
Yeah. So if this happened, as you said, if the remedy work a little or work and stop, we think about these triggers to act against. So we see if he is unwell since COVID, and I have many cases, either COVID or COVID vaccine. They are not well since COVID or COVID vaccine. And we some cases has a very obvious trigger, which is mold. And this common, the mold trigger. So we start to act in this situation by detox, and the detox improve the action of the remedy, the constitutional remedy.
And explain to me, what is a detox? Because the homeopathic detox is rather different, isn't it, than a general detox that people are used to hearing about.
Yeah. The detox, we try to, in homeopathy, things or like cures, like we try to detox the body from this toxin by the same toxin, but in ascending manner. We give it in ascending potency over 4 or 8 weeks. So this get rid of the original toxin. For example, in the MMR vaccine detox gives a marvelous effect in some cases, which has problem after vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
We give the mumps, measles, and rubella in attenuated potency, or in attenuated remedy, and we increase the potency gradually over 4 to 8 weeks, according to the case. This causes the body to it helps the body to rebalance from this detox, from this toxin, I mean.
Okay. So what we're doing is creating a remedy at different potencies to take the body through the different energy levels of the substance that perhaps caused that unbalance, that dis-ease in the first place.
Yeah, right.
Excellent. Okay. So, and of course, whenever we're doing this, whenever we're using these remedies, we're going to be needing organ support, aren't we? We need to make sure that those ways of excreting whatever's going to come up are working properly. How do we do that?
Usually, organ support, we should support the organ of the drainage, which is the liver, kidney, and the lymphatics, and the gut, which is the most important in this situation. And we want to make the gut make the normal, the healthy bacteria again. We want to get rid of the diseased bacteria or unhealthy bacteria or harmful bacteria, and regain the gut to produce the healthy bacteria. This is very important in the detox. And of course, we support the kidney and the liver and the lymphatics by other remedies. This can be before the detox or during the detox, according to the sensitivity and the case. If he is in flare up, we start with organ drainage and don't start with detox. We can do both at the same time.
And of course, we're looking at our most sensitive patients here, aren't we? And sometimes they might be sensitive to homeopathic remedies as well. So are there different ways that we can be giving the remedies in order to help them not react to the remedies themselves?
Yeah. This is a problem that they are afraid of the remedies itself. Yeah. But we have many things to do. We can start with water remedy, 5 cups 5 cup or even sometimes 10 cup
Okay. Yeah.
dilution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in water, dilution in water, and this helps. Sometimes we start with the LM, which is the Q potency, because it's milder as the aggravation and as sensitivity. And if they are not responding or they are reactive, still reactive to both, uh, we can do some olfactory or paper remedy.
Yeah.
Olfactory is by inhalation of the remedy, smelling, or by water remedy. Sometimes we need water remedy just to write the name and the potency on the water and keep beside you under your pillows, beside you in your pocket, something like that. In water remedy, sometimes I give water remedy because they have panic to take the remedy.
Uh-huh.
So this more milder. But in general, I prefer to make it in water, and in many cases it helped,
Yeah.
especially if it is 5 times or 5 cup dilution. It mostly helps. And sometimes after a few doses, they can take it either one dilution or oral pellet, and they go well with this. No problem.
Yes, you're right. I have found that as well. If some people I've needed to start them in a 5 cup dilution, but then after a few months, they can actually take the remedy without. So that just shows really how we're building that resilience, doesn't it? Do you know what? I've never even thought about that before. I think about the foods that they can eat, but I don't realize that actually, yeah, you're actually less reactive to so many things around them, aren't they? It's so lovely, isn't it? Because I mean, what I absolutely love about homeopathy is not only have we got 5,000 remedies, but we've also got so many different potencies. And then we've got so many different ways that we can give each potency
Yeah,
as well, according to how sensitive you are. So
yeah,
it's so individual, isn't it?
yeah. This is very individualized, and even if one remedy succeed with one case, it will not succeed with the other case. This is something that people couldn't accept when they said this improved on what the remedy, but it's not the rule to improve on this remedy. Not all MCAS will improve on laxes, the case
No,
I
no.
have in the webinar. So it's very individualized and should be no, and it's something long term. I mean, it's not a quick fix or one remedy solution. It
No,
it,
no.
it needs a lot of work.
But people know and understand, don't they? If they are really sensitive to things, how we can do things slightly differently, and they need to find a way that suits them. And if this gives just two people hope that there is something for them, it's just going to be so exciting because it is so life-changing, isn't it? Because you look at some of those triggers and
Yeah.
it's really horrid that people cannot safely or feel safe even going outside or going into somebody else's home or going into a shop, because they are so reactive to things. And quite often I find in the history somewhere, or maybe even the history of parents for children, that there is some emotional triggers there as well, or some emotional traumas that need to be addressed as well. So we're looking at everything, aren't we?
Yeah, sometimes I have cases with emotional trauma since childhood. I
Yeah.
mean, it's 30 years before, and it still give impact on them. So everything matter. Everything in the history starting. I start from the pregnancy of the person, from his intrauterine life
Yeah.
till the present case. So
Go through absolutely
yeah,
everything.
yeah, it will affect every time, every event, every emotions. It will help us to find the right remedy. So this very important to take careful history and long term. It's even in if something happened in childhood but still have impact on you, it matters for us.
Maha, if you've got one thing that you would like people to take away from this discussion today that perhaps gives them hope and perhaps gives them enough inspiration to do something to change where they currently are, what would it be? What's the most important essence of what we've been talking about?
That MCAS is something we can manageable. It's not something we couldn't do anything for it, and we can manage to have a normal life. I mean, to have to be controlled to controlled flare-ups. The flare-ups will be infrequent, will be very mild. You can eat more foods, more types of foods, so it's manageable. It's not something difficult. And because many cases of MCAS comes to me with impression that it's not treatable. It's not treatable. It's hopeless. But no, it's manageable and treatable. And even if you have, and if you, it's not as I said in the start, mastocytosis is actual disease, but MCAS is something caused by triggered and by activation of your system, of your immune system. So it's manageable. You could we could by homeopathy and by healthy diet and by healthy life in general, exercise, and can manage the MCAS. Sometimes they have more fatigue and loss of energy, so they couldn't do the physical activity. But with treatment, you will have more energy and to do activity, to take healthy food, to overcome these triggers, and it will be normal life.
It's just amazing, isn't it, to think that actually we've got something here that can be life-changing, because we're talking about building your resilience, building your immunity, helping you have less flares and less attacks, and able to cope with more allergens in your environment and in your food. So it really is something worth investigating and finding out more about. And I always say the one thing that's amazing about homeopathy is it teaches you so much about what those symptoms are actually trying to say. They're not just there and they need to be smothered. They're there to tell a story and they're there to change something. So I find that by going through this health journey, you learn so much about yourself that you didn't know before.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think you can live better life with your family, because sometimes they have an anxiety and stress that he couldn't do her role with as a mother, as a wife, and even in her work. So it will give you a better relations, better life, better health.
Yes, absolutely. There's so many different aspects that it involves. Maha, thank you so much for your time. It's been so lovely chatting with you today. Thank you for coming in and talking to us about MCAS.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maha Mansour, for going through this with us today. It's been such an interesting topic to discuss with you. Now, next week, I'm going to be talking to Joanna McHale, and we'll be talking about sleep and about how homeopathy might be helping you not only improve your sleep, but also everything else that is affected by your sleep patterns. I look forward to seeing you then. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy 24/7 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.